Okay, so I wanted to make a video about the best games I played when I was a kid. I've always been massively into my games, console games, PC games, arcades, you name it. I love it. And I've been doing a lot of reminiscing recently, and I thought I'll share my best games with you guys. This is my top 5, not in any particular order. It was a tough choice. I've chose these games from the original PlayStation. It was the first console I ever owned. My grandparents bought it when I was about 8. So yeah, I just thought, why not? Okay, so starting up, there is the obligatory Final Fantasy VII. I have played so many hours on this game. It is my favourite Final Fantasy of all. I think a lot of people agree. It's just something so enthralling about the storyline, and it captivates you, and it's just so long. I can remember, won't put spoilers in, but there was a certain bit, if you've played the game and you've been up to this point, you'll know what I mean, where there's a certain cutscene, and I can remember being about 9 years old and bawling my eyes out. It was the first time something like that had ever affected me, like that. But yeah, Final Fantasy VII. Another one which doesn't surprise me, it's on the list. Again, it's a fantastic game, and in the 90s it was the most, how do you put it, not sexual, but boys of a certain age really like to play this game, and that is Tomb Raider. Yeah, I again played many hours on this. I can remember getting incredibly frustrated because she'd walk off in a direction that you weren't even pointing her in, and I can just remember shouting at the telly, "Go that way, go, no, don't," and she'd jump. You wouldn't be telling her to jump, and she'd jump. Or you'd be trying to walk to the edge of a platform and she'd run off it instead, or you'd be running to jump and she'd decide she wouldn't jump. But at the same time, I mean, it was incredible, and I can remember one bit where there was a dinosaur, and if you played the game, you'll know the bit I'm on about. You climb down this cliff and you walk along a bit, and there's a waterfall you can go under. And at the age I was, again, I'd have been about 8, 9-ish, maybe a little bit younger, I'm not sure, and having no idea that this T-Rex was there, and just walking along, you know, the basin of this valley, and all of a sudden the screen starts shaking, and this thing appears from nowhere and bites you in half, basically. I can remember freaking out when that happened, and even now if I play it, it still makes me jump. I know what to do now, but every time makes me jump, and it was a difficult game. Yeah, I still struggle with it now, and we're talking nearly 15 years on now, but it's still a fantastic game, and it is like Final Fantasy. It stood the test of time. Not too keen on the most recent ones. I'm an old school gamer at heart, I suppose, but still, you know, it's a series that has stood the test of time and is still going strong. Anyway, moving on to number 3, and this one is an absolute classic. I had them all as a kid, and just looking at the box now, it's just making me want to turn the PS one on and put it in and just spend the rest of the day just wasting the day away, basically. And that's Crash Bandicoot. This game was just such a fun, interactive, crazy, and insanely difficult game. I never actually finished it. I can remember discovering the cheats for the levels. Yeah, no, that's really bad. To unlock all the levels, and I used to play all the levels, you know, at a different time. And I did finish the final boss, but not through working through the game. It was just I just used to keep trying to do the final boss. I did eventually succeed. I should really go back and play the game through as it should be played. This was one of the first PlayStation games that I ever played. There were a couple more before. Tomb Raider was one of them, but I can remember before I owned my PlayStation, and my grandma had one at her house, and she had a copy of this. This isn't that copy, but she had a copy of this, and I used to play that all the time when I was up there, and yeah, it was just a really good game. Number 4 is well, it's the second one in the series. Admittedly, I couldn't find the first one. I have it somewhere. It's in a box under my bed, but I could only find the second one. But the series itself, again, is an absolutely fantastic series. In fact, I've noticed here that my average, is that the word? Average? I don't know. But I seem to have gone for series. Series isn't even a word. Series games is what I've gone for. And number 4 on my list is Abe, or the Oddworld series. This was, well, not this one, the first one, which was Abes Odyssey, was the first game I ever played on a PlayStation. Crash was second, but Abes Odyssey was the first game ever played on PlayStation 1. It was a friend of the family. He had a PlayStation 1, and I can remember the PlayStation came out in 94, so I'd have been 5 going on 6. I think it was 94. If I'm wrong, comment below. Tell me the year. And I can remember playing this and thinking, like, what a weird game it was. And I can remember getting to the end of the first disc, and then my parents' friend took his PlayStation back, so I never got to finish it until a couple of years later, when I then got my own PlayStation, and I was able to play it. And by this point, Exodus was already out, and Exodus is again, it's just an incredible. It's funny, and it has stood the test of time. I've played it so many times over the years. In fact, I've played it recently. Just if you haven't played it, go and play it. Just buy it. You know, you can get it on PS3. It's on the PlayStation Network at the moment. Get it. It's a few quid. Just get it. Guarantee you'll love it. Final on the list is what I believe to not be a very well-known game, but I can remember as a kid, I had a demo disc, and this was on the PlayStation I had at my grandma's. I had this demo disc, and on it was this game that I would play this demo for for hours and hours and hours. It was a big day, back when demos were big and not just 10 minutes long. Xbox. I'm going to get Xbox haters now. But anyway. But yeah, this game, I never, ever, ever saw it in a shop. Here in the UK, there was a shop called Chips, which is where, as a teenager, in the early 2000s, I used to save my pocket money up and go into Chips and buy the cheap second-hand, third-hand, whatever games that were like a tenner or, you know, £5, £10. I'd save up for a few weeks and get a game, and I used to go in every week. And I used to always try and look for this game, and I never saw it. It was only years down the line that I discovered it on eBay, and I found out it was a rare game. I did eventually get a copy on my hands, as you will see in a second. But yeah, the copies for the game would go for like £200, and I was gutted because I always wanted a copy of this game. If you ever get a chance to get it cheap, I mean, I got it for about 60 quid, which is still a lot of money. I got it for my 23rd birthday. It is still a lot of money. But when the majority of the time when it does crop up, because it's rare, it goes for a lot of money. Anyway, enough of all that. The game that I've picked as my number one of PlayStation games, as I said, they're not, well, I say number one, they're not in order. It's just like my top 5 out of the many PlayStation games that I've played over the years. But that game is Doobie. This game, as I said, I spent many, many hours on, and it was just the novelty of running around as this little dude with bright pink hair, and you would eat pigs. You'd just jump on the back, and you'd just put them in your stomach, and you'd collect little chicks, and there was like little side quests you could do, and you had well, they called it a blackjack in the game, but it was like this spike ball on a bouncy string, and that was your weapon, and you could use that, and you jumped into trees, you collected apples and fruit and massive birds' eggs, and there were eagles, and there was just an insane game. And yeah, I spent many, many, many hours on. Get it and play it. I believe it's on the PlayStation 3 Network store at the moment for cheap. Get it. It's just, yeah, just get it. So yeah, that's my top 5 PlayStation 1 games. We had Doobie. We had the Oddworld series. We had Crash Bandicoot. We had the original Tomb Raider, although the others were good as well. And of course, the obligatory Final Fantasy VII. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, comment below, subscribe. I'm going to try and make these videos on a more regular basis. Keep your fingers crossed. Time and everything. I want to do like favourite books, places sort of thing, computer games, maybe even how to plays. I don't know. We'll think of something. But yeah, so thumbs up, comment below, and subscribe. Alright, bye.